Hello everyone, Chris here with Platinum Reviews. Today I have the newest review for The Legends of Heroes, Trails from Zero. Now before we begin, I do wanted to say two quick things. One, quick shout out to NIS America for the copy of the game. I was able to get the game early and review it before the game actually comes out. The game releases on September 27th on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. This is the remaster of the PSP version, and I don't know if the PSP version ever came out in America, but the PS4 and Nintendo Switch version came out in 2020, about there somewhere. I want to say 2020, but it came out in Japan and Asia. This is the localization of it. Now, there is some controversy surrounding this game. Apparently, the Nintendo Switch and the PC version are superior and have quality of life changes that the PS4 version does not. I looked at some of the pictures and there are some graphical differences. The game does look better on the Nintendo Switch and PC, but it doesn't really matter. This is a review for the PS4 version. The way it looks on a different console has no effect on my score for this game. So what I suggest is if you watch this review and it changes your mind and makes you want to get this game, take a look at some screenshots and see if you would prefer the other versions over this one and make the judgment for yourself. But like I said, it has no input on my score whatsoever. This is the PS4 version that I played, and that's what we're reviewing. So without further ado, let's jump into the review for Trails from Zero. Now, I don't want to say too much on the story because there is a lot of things that can be spoiled with this game. There were a lot of moments where I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. And a lot of times when I play games or watch movies, I can spot things from a mile away. And I'm either super blind, or which I am blind, or I just did not see the stuff coming. So there are some really good twists in this game that are enjoyable. So we're not going to go too deep into the story. However, you play as Lloyd Bennings. He is a CPD, or Crossbell Police Department officer or detective. He comes back to Crossbell and is brought in to lead a group of individuals in the SSS. The SSS is a special branch that is created from the CPD to build back trust from the community. The police department has become corrupt and they stopped caring about the citizens. So there is another group of individuals called the Bracer Guild that complete requests, and they're pretty much like vigilantes for hire. Somebody's like, oh, there's a monster under my bed. And the Bracer Guild brings somebody, takes care of the monster, and they pay them. So the SSS is brought in to pretty much mimic the Bracer Guild and become that. So people start asking them for the request, and you get the gist. They start trusting them again. So that is pretty much the story for Trails from Zero. Now, I really enjoyed the story for this game. I thought it was just great. There was, like I said, a lot of moments where I just didn't see stuff coming. Every character in the game was likable, which is normally really rare, but I loved everybody. There were a few issues, though. I didn't like that a lot of the main story quests are rinse and repeat quests that you get. Like, you go to a city and they're like, hey, this person's missing, and so you go rescue them, and you find a new city and they're like, hey, this person's missing. It's a lot of the same things. So I was kind of disappointed that a lot of the story quests, the main story requests, were so similar. Also, I felt like there was a lot of dialogue that just wasn't needed, and it wasn't like sidebar conversations. It was part of the main story as well, where it just was needless banter. There's a part in the story where you're rescuing people and you go to one room and they're like, oh, thanks for rescuing me, this person's here, are we safe to leave? And you're like, no, you're not safe. And they're like, okay, we'll stay, go to this room. So you go to that room and they say the exact same thing. You go to the next room and they say the same thing. So it's a lot of the same stuff going on over and over, and it just irritated me a lot. It happened way too many times. Now, apart from the main story, there is side quests that you can complete. I didn't really do a lot of the side quests. I did a few here and there, but I mostly focused on the main story. If you decide to do the side quest with the main story, I think the game would probably take about 60 hours or so. If you're just doing the main story, bare minimum takes about 40 hours to beat, so it's not too bad. That being said, a lot of the side quests are, again, very similar. So that's why I found myself not really messing with them too much because I didn't want to get too bored with the game and be like, I'm good. There are extra things you can do, like play blackjack, or you can go fishing, you can cook. There's different things to do to break away from the regular game. And the regular game in itself is fun. You are playing a turn based tactical, well, I wouldn't even really say tactical, semi tactical JRPG. If you've ever played any of the Trails from games, then it's very similar. I've probably put in about 5 hours into Trails prior to this. This is actually my first one that I've ever beaten. So, as far as I know, it's very, very similar to the other ones. Now, I'll showcase a lot of the combat and everything, but to try and explain it or sum it up, it is a kind of a tactical JRPG. You move around the field, you have a short battle area, and you move around the field. You don't really even have to move. If you attack and you're not within range, if you just attack, they move within range or move closer to where their next attack they'll be in range. You have arts, which are magical abilities that you can use. You have command points that you can use to do combo attacks or unleash a special attack. So the combat's actually really smooth. I have no complaints whatsoever with the combat. Leveling, everything just is really, really awesome. I didn't really find a need to go out and level up a bunch. There were a few difficult fights towards the end that I was like, oh, this is rough. But for the most part, I love the combat and I have like pretty much zero gripes with it. As far as the music is great. Graphics, I think the game looks good. It's adorable. The little cute characters, everything looks great, and I really liked my time with Trails from Zero. Now, I would give Trails from Zero a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, a lot of the missions just being kind of rinse and repeat kind of killed it for me, and unneeded dialogue just there was gripes, and other than the story and those gripes though, everything else with this game is great. Like I said, if you think everything with this looks good, check out the Switch and the PC versions and see if you want to get those instead for the graphical enhancements and quality of life changes. But this, I do not have really any gripes with this game, gameplay wise. Now, if you are going for the platinum, just beating the game takes about 40 to 45 hours. If you're beating the game and trying to collect everything in your first playthrough, it's going to take about 60 to 70 hours more than likely. And if you're going to the platinum, you're going to have to do multiple playthroughs, so be looking to put in a few hundred hours into this. However, the game's fun, so I might go back and try and go for the platinum. I don't know yet. We'll sleep on it. But if you have any questions about the trophies, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions about the game whatsoever, let me know and I'll answer them the best I can. This has been Chris with Platinum Reviews. Again, shout out to NIS America for the copy of the game. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It means a ton to me and I'd greatly appreciate it. This is Chris with Platinum Reviews. As always, keep getting those trophies and I'll catch you on the next video.